Another job shock. The Dow tanking as unemployment sticks at 8.2% in June, with only 80,000 new jobs created. And that's not all. Manufacturing shrinking. Retail sales reeling. The service sector slowing. So forget all the double dip talk. Are we already knee deep in a new recession? Hi, everyone. I'm Brenda Buttner. This is Bulls and Bears. And the Bulls and Bears this week, we've got Tobin Smith, Gary B. Smith, Jonas Max Ferris, along with Todd Schoenberger and Susan Ochs. Welcome to everybody. Okay, Todd, are we already in a new recession?
Yes, we are, Brenda, for everything you mentioned above. And also you have to look at where's the catalyst that's going to pull us out of this. Look, right now, things are bad. They're dire. Sentiment's down. We also have consumer confidence that's down. You could take your pick, guys. Housing, the household balance sheet is decimated. We are in a recession. We never got out of the last one, and this thing's going to continue for some time now.
Okay, Toby, you're near Silicon Valley. Things look a little different out there, don't they?
You know, they sure do. And, Todd, the world has fallen and will never get up. Sort of misses a couple parts here. Look, we are not in good shape. And, not only does it feel like a recession, whether it's a recession or not, it feels like a recession. But there are many parts of the United States, Silicon Valley, IT, the energy belt, God knows, D.C., New York, et cetera, that are not. The bigger issue, if you looked at the labor report, though, was that almost 60% of the jobs came from business services. And of that, about half were temporary jobs. So guess what? It's the biggest I've ever seen. People, if they're going to hire, are going to hire with temp because they don't know what their costs are going to be. They don't know what it's going to be in 6 months. And that's the thing that has me worried.
Well, Gary B., what does history show us about back-to-back recessions?
Well, Brenda, I looked at all the recessions for the last 60 years because that's the kind of exciting guy I am. I know.
Big fascinating
stuff going. Fascinating stuff going on in the Smith household, and we've never seen a double dip recession, Brenda, unless unemployment hits the peak of the previous recession. So in this case, total unemployment, including those people who have stopped looking for work, et cetera, it was about 16%, which of course is extraordinarily high. Now we're back down off that peak. You just saw the unemployment figure from Friday, about 8.2%. So that probably translates into about 13% or so. We could go back up there. I mean, Todd makes the doom and gloom case for certain. My gut tells me we're just going to limp along sideways. We won't get there, and therefore there will not be a double dip recession.
Okay, Susan, a slow recovery or an actual recession?
Right, and it's not time to push the panic button yet because there is a difference between slow growth, and we still do have growth, versus a stalled economy versus an actual recession. So I still think we're still a ways away from an actual recession. We do have slow growth. It's been choppy in certain points. It's come up and come down. But let's not forget, we have had 28 straight months of job growth in the private sector. And I know it's not where everybody wants it to be, but there are things that are looking good. Construction is continuing to be a slight strong spot. We're seeing housing demand come back. Like, there are small signs of light on the horizon there.
Well, I don't really care about the official definition of recession, which is two consecutive quarters of negative growth. If it feels like a recession, people will not be spending. Jonas, is it that bad?
Well, apparently Todd doesn't care about the official definition of a recession either. He's kind of like the opposite of the Soviet economic people, always like, it's always a good time, it's always a bad time. We're not in a recession. We haven't been in a recession for a long time. However, the concern is it's a little sluggish given that we're still running a artificial low-tax regime to boost the economy. So it's a little bit of a concern how little jobs are being created with the low payroll tax in effect, which a lot of people, including myself, thought was going to help hiring. We also have these other tax cuts that are all going to expire. So we need the economy a little stronger than it is going into eventual tax increases, or we will get another recession. But it's not here yet. And to the other guest point, we don't need to pull the panic button yet.
Yeah, but Todd, it is all about jobs, isn't it? Because without jobs, people don't have money. They don't have confidence. They're not going to spend. Consumer spending is which fuels a recovery.
That's right.
We're just not seeing the jobs we need.
Well, not only that, listen, after the past 6 months, 70% of all the jobs created in this country are of the low-income variety. Jobs in hospitality, retail, leisure. Those are the jobs. They're fine, but they're not going to sustain any type of economic recovery in this country. So when you start seeing GDP, when you start seeing a growth rate that's dropping. It continues to get lower. And then you start seeing the household balance sheet just decimated. Higher food costs. Sentiment is poor. I mean, this is going to continue, guys, and it's not ending anytime soon. I hate to paint the doom and gloom scenario for Fox viewers
Brenda,
and for you guys, but you know I'm right.
Yeah.
Toby, you know he's right.
Well, look at, yeah. Well, Todd just sort of bugs me in a couple ways. But here's number one thing. The issue that if Todd was really going to make the point was going to say, well, how would we get to growth? Do you realize we'd have to have 325,000 jobs a month for the next 3 months, for the next 3 years to get to, the 6%, what everybody thinks is what a recovery is going to be. And frankly, after all the bad karma and all the horrible things that have happened in our economy and finance, et cetera, we are not getting there unless we were to have a grand slam in November and get all the growth people back in work. And if you're betting on that, then maybe you're really excited. I can't get that excited as Gary because we're not going to get there.
Where's the catalyst? You're not going to get that. You're not going to get it this year. You're not going to get it next year either. You can't. It's just not going to happen.
Gary B., what could turn the economy around? What could bring us into a stronger recovery?
Well, think about it, Brenda. Think what didn't really turn the economy, accelerated the economy that no one saw coming the last go-round, which was, oh my gosh, almost 20 years ago, was the dawn of the Internet. I mean, no one said, oh my gosh, 5 years from now in whatever it was, 1989, there's going to be this Internet and there's going to be a pets.com, there's going to be a Google. No one saw that coming. I'm sorry, Todd, you just can't extrapolate the future based on the past. There could be things like nanotechnology, healthcare could take off. There could be any number of things. By the way, the last time you were on and we were all investing in fallout shelters and the market held firm. So I think there could be some good things that Todd does not see.
You got to come see mine.
And don't forget, there was some good news for consumers in this report. Average hourly wages went up a little bit. We're seeing gas prices come down. So there will be a little bit of relief, especially coming into the summer months when people do a lot of driving. So you will see some things start to get a little bit better. And when you look at manufacturing jobs, even though there has been a very, very only on the margin decline, we've already added 500,000 new manufacturing jobs, and in this kind of economy, that's a huge number. So to have a little bit of a pullback is not the end of the world yet.
But Jonas, you did mention that really internationally there are some things that are just not under our control, and that could be the thing that really does push us into a recession.
We can't make Europe not stink. We try to help them, but they've got their own bad policies. They've got their own bad tax policies, and they're dragging the global economy down now.
China's slowing.
And if we were in a stronger position, we could probably insulate ourselves a little more from it, but we need to export to those countries too. So they're going to be a drag. It's another one of the problems going on. But, even if we were to get this second recession that Todd thinks we're already in, the last time we had a double-dip recession it was in the Reagan administration, started the greatest stock market boom in the next 20 years and the economy. So you can get out of even that terrible scenario.
Come on, Jonas. If you're a student of history, you would know this. I mean, think about it. We didn't have the regulations that we have now. You didn't have the tax implications. You have a fiscal cliff we have to deal with. Look, guys, I'm stating facts here. There was an entirely different time 20 years ago. Gary B. talks about nanotechnology and everything else. Yeah, but that's when entrepreneurism was it wasn't villainized. I mean, we're kind of, people are villains now if you go out and start your own business now.
Do you really think you're a villain?
Yeah.
Is Mark Zuckerberg a villain?
You are.
Is that really?
You are. Tell me one business owner, get a business owner that's watching this show right now to write in. I want to know who is out there actually able to start a business without the regulations, without having to worry about the extra taxes, and they're actually going out and hiring. I don't think they're out there.
Congress passed the Jobs Act specifically to make it easier to raise money as a small business.
Yeah. But Todd, I spoke to about 2,500 of them today, all right? And they have not enough employees, they have not enough time, they have not enough resources because they're growing like lightning. So don't throw all the economy in the toilet because we have certain parts that are absolutely in desperate shape. And really what you're saying is it's a political statement, which is you think if we had regime change, everything was going to get rosy. And we could have all the regime change we want, and we're not going to get that rosy because it takes time to get out of the hole that we dug in, and we're in a deep hole.
I got to give Todd the last word.
Look, going forward, it's all about economics right now, guys. The numbers are just not there, and the sentiment's obviously poor. So, yes, that's why we are currently in a recession.
Okay, Todd's going to go out and stock up on Spam and, get ready for his fallout shelter.
Don't put down
we appreciate it. Okay. Coming up,